Welcome to a journey through one of the most fascinating and debated ideas at the frontier of science and philosophy, the simulation theory. Imagine for a moment that our reality is not what it seems, but an advanced digital creation orchestrated by a superior civilization. This hypothesis, which seems like something out of a science fiction movie, has captured the imagination of scientists and philosophers alike, who have put forward arguments both for and against our existence within a computerized simulation. Is it possible that our entire life, our history, and the known universe are nothing more than a virtual environment created by unknown entities? Join me as we explore the 5 most intriguing reasons that might suggest that our reality is in fact a simulation. And before we dive into this fascinating countdown, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any content that challenges the boundaries of our understanding of the world. Reason number 5. Advances in virtual reality. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on the top of a mountain. The wind blows gently, and you can see a breathtaking valley at your feet. Now imagine that all of this disappears just by taking off a virtual reality headset. This technology, once the stuff of science fiction, is now a growing part of our everyday lives. But what does this tell us about our own existence? Advances in virtual reality are taking us to a point where virtual worlds are almost indistinguishable from reality. Each year, the graphics become more realistic, the interactions more natural, and the experiences more immersive. If we continue on this trajectory, we might reach a future where creating simulated universes is commonplace worlds, so detailed and convincing that the inhabitants might not realize their reality is artificially. This idea is not just speculation. It is based on the simulation hypothesis proposed by philosophers and theorists. If we accept the possibility that future civilizations will have the technology to create perfect simulations, an unsettling question arises: how can we be sure that we are not already living in one of those simulations? Video games are an early example of how humans have sought to recreate and inhabit fictional worlds. From the simple graphics of Pong to the vast and detailed universes of games like No Man's Sky or The Elder Scrolls, we have seen a huge leap in the ability to simulate complex realities. And this is just the beginning. With virtual reality, we are taking steps towards creating experiences that could be as rich and complete as life itself. So, if we are on the path to being able to generate simulated realities that could deceive their own inhabitants, isn't it possible that we are already living in a simulation created by a previous or more advanced civilization? Today's virtual reality could be a mere reflection of what is already our reality. This is reason number 5, but don't tune out yet. The upcoming reasons will delve even deeper into this fascinating and disturbing concept. Are you ready to continue questioning the nature of our existence? Let's continue with the countdown. Reason number 4. Philosophical arguments. In the world of philosophy, the possibility that our reality is a simulation has been the subject of serious debate and argumentation. One of the most influential is presented by the philosopher Nick Bostrom, who in his work, Are We Living in a Computer Simulation?, offers an argument that has captured the imagination of scientists and technology enthusiasts alike. Bostrom suggests that at least one of the following propositions is true. First, that it is very unlikely that a civilization will reach a level of technology capable of creating simulated realities. Second, that the logic behind this is that if an advanced civilization has the technological capability and the desire to run simulations of their ancestors, they could create millions of these simulations, making the probability that we are in the base reality extremely low. Furthermore, some philosophers argue that if the universe is infinite, or there is an infinite number of universes, then the probability of simulations existing within these is also infinite. This would mean that statistically, it is more likely that we are in one of these simulations than not. Another philosophical argument is Cartesian skepticism, which reminds us that our perception of reality is mediated by our senses, which are susceptible to error. If our senses can deceive us in everyday life, who can say with certainty that we are not being deceived on a much larger scale? In summary, philosophical arguments invite us to consider the possibility that our reality is not what it seems. They challenge us to question our most basic assumptions and to open our minds to the idea that perhaps our existence is part of something much bigger and more complex than we can comprehend. The question remains open: are we living in a simulation? Reason number 3: anomalies in quantum physics. Let's delve into the enigmatic world of quantum physics, where the laws of nature, as we know them in our everyday life, seem to fade into a sea of possibilities. Here, particles can exist in multiple places, at the same time communicate instantaneously across vast distances, and behave differently when observed. These phenomena, which defy our intuition, have led some scientists and philosophers to hypothesize that our reality might be a simulation. First, consider the double-slit experiment. When electrons are fired through two slits, they create an interference pattern on a detector, as if they were waves rather than particles. However, if it is observed which slit each electron passes through, the interference pattern disappears, and they behave like particles. This change in behavior, due to observation, suggests that the universe behaves differently when measured, as if reality needed an observer to determine its state, a concept that could be consistent with a programmed system that saves resources by rendering only what is observed. Then there's quantum entanglement, a connection between particles that transcends space and time. Two entangled particles, no matter the distance separating them, can influence the state of the other instantaneously. This phenomenon, which Einstein called spooky action at a distance, could be interpreted as if we had hidden variables in an underlying program that instantly connects 2 points in space, something that would be impossible in a non-simulated universe governed by general relativity, which states that nothing can. Furthermore, the theory of quantum information suggests that information is a fundamental part of the fabric of the universe. In a sense, this could be likened to the information processed by a computer. If information is the basis of everything, isn't it plausible to think that we live in a reality made up of quantum bits in a gigantic computational system? Lastly, the hypothesis of the Great Simulation is bolstered by the possibility that the physical constants and laws of the universe are finely tuned to allow for the existence of life, which some interpret as evidence of intentional design, similar to how a programmer would adjust the rules. In summary, the anomalies in quantum physics present us with a universe that seems to be based on programmed rules, where observation is essential, connections defy the limitations of space-time, and information is fundamental. These elements are consistent with the theory that our reality might be in fact an advanced simulation. Are we living in a cosmos of data and algorithms? The question remains open, but quantum physics certainly gives us a lot to think about. Reason number 2: the information hypothesis. At the heart of contemporary physics lies a surprising revelation: the universe might be fundamentally information. This idea, which seems like something out of a science fiction novel, is a serious perspective in the world of theoretical physics. According to this hypothesis, all matter, energy, space, and time could be reduced to bits of information, much like a digital image is composed of pixels. This notion aligns closely with the simulation theory. If the universe is information, then in theory, it could be programmed and processed like any computer simulation. Imagine that every particle, every interaction, and every phenomenon we experience is nothing more than the result of complex algorithms executed by an advanced computational system. Physicist John Wheeler coined the term "it from bit," suggesting that everything that exists originates from information. This perspective leads us to wonder if we live in a universe of information. Who or what is processing these bits? Could it be that our reality is the product of a superior intelligence that has designed and is running a simulation on a scale we can barely begin to comprehend? The idea that we live in a simulation is not just a fascinating hypothesis, but it also offers a plausible explanation for some of the peculiarities of quantum physics, such as quantum entanglement and the collapse of the wave function. These phenomena challenge our traditional understanding of space and time, but in the context of a simulation, they could be interpreted as artifacts of an underlying processing system. In summary, the information hypothesis invites us to consider the possibility that our reality is nothing more than data in a vast cosmic matrix, a simulation executed by an unknown entity. And if that is true, then existence itself could be much more malleable and programmable than we have ever imagined. Reason number 1. Statistical probability. And now we reach the pinnacle of our countdown. Reason number 1, statistical probability. Let's imagine for a moment that technological advancement continues its march unabated. There will come a day when humanity possesses the capability to create incredibly detailed and complex simulations indistinguishable from our own reality. These simulations could house conscious beings who would never suspect that their world is not the real one. Now, if we consider that an advanced civilization could create not just one, but countless of these simulations, a disturbing question arises: what kind of reality do you think you live in on? Statistical logic suggests that if there is one base reality and a vast number of simulations derived from it, the odds that we are in one of those simulations are overwhelmingly high. It's as if we had a single winning lottery ticket representing the base reality against millions of tickets that represent simulations. Which one is more likely to be in your hand? This idea is supported by the simulation argument proposed by philosopher Nick Bostrom, which challenges us to consider the possibility that we live in an artificial reality. If we accept that it is possible for a civilization to advance to the point of creating these simulations, and if we also believe that we won't destroy ourselves before reaching that stage, then we must confront the statistical likelihood that the implication of this conclusion is profound and unsettling. Every aspect of our existence, from the sunrise we observe to the emotions we feel, could be programmed and orchestrated by entities from an underlying reality. Our entire universe could be a cosmic theater for observers who from the outside study our reactions and behaviors. In summary, the number one reason we might be living in a simulation is the overwhelming statistical probability that arises when considering the multitude of possible simulations versus a single base reality. And if this is true, then each of us, every story, every tear, and every laugh is part of a symphony of data in the vast orchestra of cosmic simulation. We have reached the end of our journey through the 5 reasons that suggest we might be living in a simulation. From Bostrom's simulation hypothesis, which posits the high probability that advanced civilizations could create simulated realities, to the limits of quantum physics that make us question the very nature of our existence, each point invites us to look beyond what we consider real. The idea that our reality could be an artificial creation, programmed and executed by a technologically advanced civilization, is a notion that challenges our perception of the universe and ourselves. If we are in a simulation, what does that mean for our sense of freedom, destiny, and consciousness? Are our choices truly our own, or are they simply variables in a complex algorithm? Although the simulation theory may seem like something out of a science fiction movie, we cannot dismiss it entirely. Technology is advancing at a dizzying pace, and what was once pure fantasy is now looming on the horizon of possibility. Perhaps in the not-too-distant future, we will be the ones creating our own simulations populated by conscious beings who will ask the same questions we are asking today. For now, these reasons serve as a reminder that the universe is a mysterious and wonderful place, full of enigmas that spark our curiosity and push the boundaries of our understanding. Whether we live in a base reality or in a simulation, the pursuit of knowledge and the exploration of the unknown continue to be the essence of the human experience. Thank you for joining me on this tour of the 5 reasons that make us consider the possibility that our reality is not what it seems. Don't forget to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and if you liked the video, subscribe for more content that will expand your mind and challenge your beliefs. Until next time.